Welcome to the post-fight Clink. I am your host, Big Bang Mike. I am here with Vincent the King Wright, fresh off of his victory off the main card of Steel Fist Fight Night. Today, we are just going to be going over that fight together, sharing a cocktail, having a drink. Today, Vincent has chosen Patron. Thank you so much for joining me here today. So, Vince, before we get started, let's just get some of the more technical stuff out of the way. What got you into fighting? Like, what are you looking to do with fighting? What are you looking to do with martial arts long term? Is this just like a hair up your ass, or is this something that you're going for hardcore?
I mean, I'm definitely going for it hardcore now. I mean, when it started off, I just wanted to take one fight just because, I grew up a small, kind of overweight kid. Like, I'm still not the tallest person in the room, but it's like I was always kind of like preyed upon, I guess. Bullies and older kids would pick on me. I would defend myself, but it would also be a lot harder because I was smaller. As I got older, and I remember I went to my first amateur MMA fight, and I was just watching, just a spectator. I don't know what it was, but I caught like a bug. I fell in love with it. I was sitting not even close up, just like maybe front row with like the nosebleeds. But I was like, okay, this is what I want to do. I walked into a small MMA gym, started training, and it was mainly a karate gym. So I started as a Goju Ryu karate. It was my first trade as an adult. Started doing that, and then I was just like, okay, let me get one fight just to kind of prove something to myself. I think I'm just over 10 fights deep compared to amateur and pro together. And it's like, I just love what I do. Like, I couldn't wake up and imagine myself not training or not competing, at least not yet. Like, I'm 32 years old. I want to have as much fun with this as I can. And it's like, I want to just kind of keep going. Like, obviously, I'm trying to get my pro record wins together, knock some out. And Dana White, I'm be ready. I'm ready now. So let me just make it prove that I'm ready and get my record going. And it's like, you'll see.
I love it. So this is something that you are committed to career-wise, right? Like, so this isn't just something that you're like, it's kind of something I wanted to do, but it's definitely something you're committing to.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm committed. It's like, for the rest of my life, will be a martial artist. Like, the dreams to hopefully gain some sponsors, go to Thailand for a few months, train and compete out there. But once I'm done actually competing, because I'm 32, like I said, so by the time I'm 40, I want to own my own gym.
Nice.
I want to have a fitness side where I can, because I'm a personal trainer, I want to be able to continue to train athletes and grow in that field as well, and more knowledge, more skills. But also I want to have an MMA side where I could teach like a kids program. I want to actually, because I came from a troubled household, like things weren't the best growing up. I want to be able to give back to those type of kids. Like, if they can come train for free, as long as you got to bring, good grades and not be in trouble, train for free, because the fitness side hopefully covers the overhead for the main side. So as long as I could do something to get back and give kids like that kind of grew up like I did a chance, because it's like, had I been doing this since I was a kid, who knows where I'd be. But I kept getting told I was going to end up in jail or something. It's like, okay, I don't want to get into fights. I don't want to get in trouble.
Right.
So let me just kind of be quiet. But
who'd have thought that getting punched in the face was a viable career path, right?
Yeah, I mean, crazy what you can make possible. Dana White, yeah, thank you, bro, because it started in 93, and I was born in 93. So I don't know if that was like perfect timing, but yo, let's go.
Nice. I love it. You said you grew up in California. We're in Pleasant Grove, Utah right now, but
yeah.
You grew up in California, yeah? When did you move to Utah?
So I grew up in Sacramento. I moved to Utah originally when I was in the third grade. So I went to Clearfield Elementary just up the road. Well, kind of far from us now, but up the road for where I live now. But yeah, I went to Clearfield Elementary when I first moved out here. That was the first school I attended. And I would just go kind of back and forth. So every summer I would go and stay in California with my grandparents, and I would come back here when I played football.
Oh, okay.
And so I'd be back every summer at the end for like football camp and stuff like that. But when I turned 20 right out of high school, I moved back to California, and I went to work out there. I was an iron worker. I did that for almost 7 years. And then I moved back out here, I want to say 4 years ago. I never planned on coming back, but COVID, man. California had way too many restrictions, couldn't do anything. It took away 3 years of competing, 2 years of being able to consistently train right because the gym was under quarantine. So, yeah, Gavin Newsom. I don't know if we can get political on here, but yeah.
You get however you want on here. So to clarify, you are training out of One Hit MMA in Layton, Utah. So you're not necessarily on my fight team, but you do help come down and help train some of my advanced kids, and sparring them and stuff like that. Can you do me a favor? I know this is a little bit of self-serving, but can you tell me a little bit about that program and what those kids were going through and how you thought that relates to like the real world training that you do in MMA all the time?
Honestly, I kind of just like I said earlier, I grew up kind of being the smaller kid getting bullied. Wasn't the biggest kid ever, still not, but I can throw hands now, so I can defend myself. So when you brought me out here that first time to initially train with the kids, I mean, our good friend Joe kind of made that connection, brought me out here with him. But it was just perfect because it's like I got to see a lot of kind of my old self in these kids. They're going against a guy who's not much bigger, but I'm still like 100 pounds bigger than all the kids you had me train with.
Right.
So I got to spar with them and just like see them because you can kind of tell when the emotions are there, especially when you're moving around with them. They were anxious. They were a little scared, but especially the kids with the I forgot the belt color they had, but the more advanced kids, they were biting down and they were going. Like they were touching me a couple times. They were kind of giving the push. And I was just like, okay, like this is kind of what I got into this for, to kind of give back and kind of be able to pay it forward. And just being able to do that was like cool.
No, I'm glad awesome. I'm glad we have people like you around the area, and I'm glad to have people like you down, especially the guys who are able to come in and contain themselves. Right?
Yeah.
I think that a lot of people out there think that MMA fighters are just like alpha rage monsters, and think that like they're just a bunch of insane people, but like like all of us are pretty tempered. We're pretty controlled. It's not like you put an MMA fighter against a kid that he's gonna just like mollywop him or something, right? So let's get back to your fight. You fought an athlete by the name of Beck Shields. I believe he fights out of Wyoming. A 4-inch advantage on top of you. What was your favorite part of that fight?
Honestly, it was just that humbling body shot. Because I felt like before that, like we talked in the background before my fight, so you have those notes, and it's funny because they said it was lucky win, but it's like everything I told you, correct me if I'm wrong, I told you I wanted to take out that lead leg and damage the body.
It's true.
In the beginning, you could see in the fight, I started throwing those leg kicks, but I didn't realize how long he really was. So initially when I was throwing those leg kicks, he was able to jab me from that same distance. So instantly I picked up, I was like, okay, right away, I can still make this work, but I got to come up with something to lead me into that. He kept trying to come in. He caught me with that first jump knee, and I was like, okay, cool. That one jarred me a little bit, dropped me back. I was able to spin off the cage, do what I did, and everyone he threw after that was air balls.
Right.
But it's like that body shot literally just took his momentum, took him down. I let him get back up, and then it was just that humbling experience. It's like, yes, you're good. Yes, you're young. You got high energy, but you're not ready for this power yet, and especially at this weight class. Like I went up a weight class to fight him, and it's like I don't have to worry about as big of a weight cut, so it's like my body's strong.
Right.
And it's like with my build compared to his, it's like I knew I was going to have the power advantage. His range was just a little bit to get past that first minute and a half. So I was like, okay, we'll be calm. We'll take some to give some, but I know I'm going to hit harder.
Oh, I have to say, I mean, I think if you watched the scrap down, you kind of get my insight in the fight itself. But that was my favorite part of the fight. The tables really turned once that body hit happened. And I think that oftentimes people who aren't as educated in the fighting arts, they might see body shots as less valuable or less effective.
Yeah,
right?
Everyone wants to headhunt.
Oh, but then you hit that body so hard, and all of a sudden those elbows came in and they couldn't come out no more.
Yep.
And that's what was beautiful about it. It was very much a clinic in martial arts. One of the major things that I always ask, especially tempered, experienced mixed martial artists, is if you were to give somebody advice for their first fight ever, what do you think, like just one piece of advice, you are only allowed to, like the knife will cut you off right after this advice. What is the most important thing that you can say to a first-time fighter, do you think?
Honestly, because just coming from experience, like you've had your first amateur fight or first pro fight, you know what comes with it. My biggest thing, especially being in season, like you said now, is enjoy the moment. Try to be present from start to finish, because we know is when you first start off, especially your first fight ever, that adrenaline dump is extreme. You're going out there, depending if you have friends or family there, you have your loved ones there, people that you want to see do good, people that might not want to see you do good. They're there to see you lose. So it's like you have all that in the back of your head. You make that walk, that adrenaline dump's going to hit you like a slap in the face. Then it's like, are you fully present, or are you relying on the instincts? That's why drillers make killers. What you drill in the gym, that becomes first nature. When you get out there, you get hit. Whatever you're practicing, that becomes first nature.
Right.
So that's all you're going to have when that adrenaline dump hits. So my biggest advice is just enjoy the moment, be present, and try to have fun with it.
Yeah, I think that's a very interesting piece of advice. It's almost like you should be going on cruise control at that moment.
Yeah.
Right. Like when my fighters are backstage and we're warming up and everything, I always remind them, it's like, hey, just so you know, there's no move that we're going to do right now backstage that's going to win this fight. Like, that was 3 months ago.
Yeah.
Right? So right now we're just warming up your body and getting you going. But everything from this point on should pretty much be cruise control.
Yep.
So drillers make killers is a good mantra to have, right? Just being present in the moment and allowing your body to take over, because I think every fighter has a different kind of headspace when they're in, but every time I'm in the ring, I'm not really conscious of what's happening in my head. I don't think I'm thinking and having an internal dialogue in the way I am now having a conversation with you, right? So you kind of just have to train hard enough to allow your instincts to take over. Being present and in the moment is good. Was there anything that turned out to not be as big of a deal that you thought for this fight with Beck Shields? Because we talked a little bit backstage.
Yeah.
I know personally that we had some worries, we had some concerns. Like, we're fighters, we have bravado. We like to say that we don't fear anything.
Yeah.
Right? But we do. And what ended up happening in that cage that was like, oh man, I was actually really afraid of this, but it wasn't as big a deal as I thought it'd be.
I wouldn't say it was so much fear. I just prepped going into this fight with his range advantage. It still was a surprise when I got in there, so that kind of caught me off guard. But more than anything, I just expected his jiu to be better. I expected him to, once he grabbed a hold of you, to have some high-level stuff. He fell for that ankle lock, dropped from the clinch to go to the ankle lock. By the time I fell down with him, because if you watch the fight back, you see I stood up, kind of wiggled around a little bit before I finally fell to my butt. But it's like I had got my ankle pass, and from there, he didn't make any adjustments.
No,
so I was like,
true.
he was still trying to grapple for it, and I was just like, okay, I'm safe here. You want to hold on my foot? I started dropping those elbows on the thigh, and I knew they hurt because of how skinny he was. And I tried to land right above that knee where the quad's tying. So I was like, okay, I see that. I know where it's at. Tap, tap. He got up, started letting go. I got to the guard, got to full mount, and I was like, bro, just stand up. I was like, that's all you had for me? I was like, okay, we can fight up here now. You're fighting my fight.
I do remember talking backstage and there being a bit of concern about his jiu-jitsu. Even talking to Aldo, we had a little bit of a concern about the jiu-jitsu and stuff. Especially with his last fight, because he won his last fight with I
think he won his last 3, maybe by submission, if I was not mistaken. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So in I know the last fight he won in spectacular fashion. Yeah. Right.
Early.
It was early and a flying triangle. Right. So I was actually surprised to see when he dropped down, he didn't really isolate that knee.
No, not
to
at
get
all.
that to get that ankle roll. And I'm not trying to trash talk anybody. It's just you kind of feel like you create these monsters in your head of opponents that are so good, so that it motivates you to train. And then sometimes you get in the ring and you're like, oh, you know what? This actually isn't bad. I'll just open this leg up and maybe scoop my butt out a little bit.
I think that's part of it, honestly. That's what makes it so fun. That's why I don't agree with rematches unless there's a point to it. If it's a controversial finish or it was a split decision, maybe I could see that, especially if there's bad blood. But rematches don't make sense to me because I like being scared going into a fight, like you said. We all kind of have that. It's when I'm preparing, I want to have some you have to be that's why I like that I'm not a bully. I've never gone up to someone and say, hey, we're fighting, you sign the contract now, we'll fight in 2 weeks. It's bro, we agree, we're professional fighters. You agree to fight me, I agree to fight you. We both know we're training, you better know I'm training. I'm not an easy opponent for nobody. I don't care who you are. It's I'm going to come to fight and I'll race to the occasion no matter who you are.
Right.
So it's I have to be somewhat scared to get ready to fight you. I need that fear of the unknown, of I don't know what you're going to do. I don't know how hard you hit. I don't know anything about you. Because if I fight you again, it's especially if I finish you, it's what's the point of this?
Yeah.
It's I know what I got to do now. I know what you're good at. I know what I'm good at. I'm just better. So I'm just going to beat you.
It's the second time runaround that's hard. You always have those ones that got away. You know what I mean? And I think that's what's really hard when you've lost matches before. I've lost matches before. Most of the people in the fight game are going to have matches that they lost.
Exactly.
So we all could really identify with the whole thing well, if that one thing didn't happen, I probably would have won. But that's how it works. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's that big joke. If my aunt had wheels instead of legs, she'd be a bicycle.
Exactly.
Right? So it's
in our game, it only takes that one shot.
Yeah.
One to touch your chin, one to touch your body, one to touch your leg, and you can't walk no more.
Right. Our whole thing is about doing that. So, but yeah, so that I think. The ground game, I think that he's really fast with his submissions.
Yeah, no, he's smooth the way he tries to do it and set it up. It's just I don't think his physical strength, because he is a young guy. I'm a personal trainer. Like I said, I've been working out since I was 15 years old. I was a little fat kid. My dad put me in the weight room, was like, yo, you got to learn to protect yourself. We didn't have much weight room. We had a hay bale for a bench because we used to have horses, and then we had a 300-pound bench set. So we would just work out in the barn, and I'd be on a hay bale with 2 rice buckets is the actual where you'd set the bar down. So it's like I've had grown man strength since I was a kid because I was an iron worker too. When he started trying to grapple with me, and even when he threw shots at me, like I was like, okay, your range isn't the best, but I was like, the way you throw them is not powerful. I could take these.
Yeah.
I've just had that build.
And a lot of people don't really understand how different submission grappling is, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is when you can get punched.
Yeah, way different.
And they train, a lot of people train so segmented where it's like only jiu-jitsu or only striking. They often don't. They often don't wrestle hybrid, which I know that they do down at One Hit MMA, which is another reason why Aldo was my striking coach.
Yeah.
But like jiu-jitsu is just so different when you can get hit in the face. It doesn't play well. That's why, like when I saw him pull guard, I was like, that's probably not a great idea.
I don't agree with guard pulling in MMA. It's like, especially because like if you have someone that's inept at jiu-jitsu and you're just going to pull guard, that's your game plan.
It's kind of hard.
Good luck eating that first shot, especially a stockier guy coming down on you.
Yeah, it's not like 1996 anymore, man. Like we know what people can do from a mounted position. So we talked about you growing up in California. We talked about you kind of bouncing back and forth between Utah and California pretty much most of your life, which is kind of similar to me, honestly. But I know one of the cooler things about fighting is that you do get to choose your walkout song. And I always think that, I mean, maybe it's the theater kid in me, that people think hard about their walkout songs, and their walkout songs are their walkout songs for a reason. So tell me what your walkout song was and why you chose that.
I mean, I think this was like the 3rd time I've used that song, 3rd or 4th time. And honestly, I'll probably use it for the rest of my career. I used to kind of be like everyone else, I try to pick a fight that's going to jazz the crowd up, get them going, feel that energy. Now I kind of just do it for me. Like California Love's kind of a therapeutic song to me because like growing up out here, like I always knew I was from California. I was kind of always just kind of viewed as the outside kid because I didn't know anybody out here when I first moved out here. So you kind of grow up with that stigma. But I always like knew California was home. Even till this day, like if California wasn't so messed up, I would still probably live there. That's always felt like home to me. I love Utah, don't get me wrong. And especially being an adult, coming back out here, growing up out here and having that full experience. I'll probably, I want to open my gym out here. I'll just leave it at that. Like that's how much I love this state. But at the same time, like it's always been like a goal to do something for California as well. And California Love just kind of gives me that therapeutic feeling. You're home, go have fun, do what you love to do. So by the time I get in the cage, I do my little mantra that I tell myself, and then it's game. Like I'm locked in. It's relaxed.
It is a beautiful song, especially written by somebody whom isn't a Californian. But like it hits the vibe really well because it's like it's amped. It is amped up. It's a song that everybody knows. It's got a hard, pushy rhythm, and I do think it gets the crowd going for sure. But it's also laid back, which is
it's got that smooth vibe. Yeah. It's not like real hardcore rap. It is in that era,
right?
But it's like poetic the way they wrote it. And they even give a shout out to my hometown. Like they say Sacramento, put your hands up. So it's like every time that hits, I'm like, bro, that's home. Like I'm Sacramento kid. Like that's where I'm from.
But and it's cool because like you could see if you follow me on social media, we videotaped your walkout, and it is like once that song comes on, you can kind of see you get into like this meditative state, and you feel the kind of music and the vibe wash over you as you walk out. So it's very good. I liked it. I thought it was cool. I don't think it's a song that I could have pulled off, but I think you pulled it off. I think you pulled it off right.
Yeah, no, that walkout was cool because I don't know if you saw when I was walking out, I got to give my dad a fist bump. My dad always likes to be there. Nice. My dad's a big supporter, especially now that I'm an adult and I'm competing. Like he always goes to my fights. So just having him there, and he was like feeling the song. That's one of his favorite songs growing up. So I was like, okay, I got to give him the fist bump from off the stage. And like you said, I was locked in as soon as I started walking. But that to me was like. But my dad was a wild man back when I was a kid because, like I said, people would try to bully me.
Right.
So people would call when I first started getting my own cell phone. People would call my phone, like, talking crap to me. And my dad would just be walking by my room, or I'd be outside, and he would overhear it. And he's like, what? Who's that? He didn't like – because my dad grew up in California his whole life. Like, he knows, like, if you're going to be a victim, you're going to be a victim your whole life. He would take me to go fight these kids.
Nice.
Like, dead serious. My dad would be like, okay, well, tell him to meet us over here. And he would drop me off. He wouldn't stay. But he would come, like, do a lap, drive around, and be like, okay, you guys good? You done fighting? Win, lose, or draw, my dad would be like, okay, cool, you fought. Nobody's going to leave. They're going to leave you alone now. But I remember all through junior high, it's like, that's how my dad taught me to defend myself. You know, elementary school.
Yeah.
People would try to pick on me. It's like, hey, you're not always going to have your older brother here. Go defend yourself. And my dad, like, he didn't like that we would get into fights, but as long as you weren't causing it, he was fine with it. We grew up in the 90s. So it's like, hey, you have to be tough, especially in California. Like, you got to have some type of, machismo. Go defend yourself. Yeah. Don't let them make you a victim. So it's like, once I got a reputation for fighting as a kid, it's like, I was just quiet. I was a quiet little chubby kid, bro. Just leave me alone. Let me eat my snacks. I'm going to play Pokemon, whatever.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's kind of the thing with bullies. It's hard to get kids to understand that, like, if you just have a reputation that you're the type of person that will fight back, then you don't get bullied.
Yep, and they'll leave you alone.
Everybody's looking for a victim. They're not looking for a fight. Speaking of fights, you talked a little bit about you kind of saw an amateur MMA event earlier in your career, and that inspired you to go into an MMA gym and begin fighting. But like, there is a point in everybody's life where they decide that they want to take their first fight, and that's very different than fighting on the street.
Right? Yeah, way different.
Very different. So what in your life happened? What was going through your head when you were like, you know what? I think I'm going to train for 8 weeks straight, not drink alcohol or have any food that I like, so that maybe I'm in the ring for 9 minutes or whatever. Like, what was going through your head? What made you take your first fight?
Honestly, it was just like, I don't even know if that was a thought process, to be 100% honest with you. Like, it just, like I said, I went to that first event. I got bit by whatever bug or something. Like, it's hard to explain. Like, something in me kind of woke up. Mm-hmm. Like, had I started doing this when I was a kid, I would have never stopped doing it. But I didn't start until I was like 21, 22. And I remember going to that first event, and it was just like, okay, I left feeling like I was kind of buzzed. Like, I had been drinking, even though I wasn't even drinking then. I just had that, like, bug to me the whole drive home. Walked into that same gym that the guy that I was there to watch was training out of a week later out in Stockton, California. Started training. Like, I was already working out, like, because I was an iron worker, so I was welding, 10 hours a day, picking up steel, going around. So I had a thicker build back then. I didn't have a neck. It was just traps and shoulders, because I was always picking stuff up and moving it around.
You're a trap queen.
Yeah.
I love it.
Hey, trap. I was making a lot of money back then, too. But I think the big transition point was, I was so young when I started welding. I was 17 years old, working in a grown man trade. Everyone was they're like my age now. They were like in their late 30s already. So I was a supervisor when I started doing that, like a year in. And then I just started looking around one day, and all these guys, like, shout out to the guys I worked with, though, like, no disrespect, but a lot of them were like, on their second marriage or third marriage, their kids they didn't know their kids because they were working so much. Mm-hmm. And I just had a moment of, like, clarity, and I was like, I'm making good money. I can't really do anything outside of this because I'm working so much. I can have a lot of cool shit. Like, if I buy fancy cars, which I had a brand new 2016 WRX the year before they came out. I bought it at the end of 2015. It didn't come out to 2016. But I only lasted a year because I got into a bad accident. But it was like, I just had a moment of clarity. It's like, do I want to keep doing this? Fighting is where I feel alive. Like, something in me is like native. Like, I don't know if you believe in like spirits or anything, but something in me was like, this is where you belong. Find a way to do it. So I just transitioned from weightlifting every day to fighting. And it's like I said, I couldn't imagine waking up and not training. Like, I've had a week off, let my body heal.
Right.
I've been lifting here and there, but I'm just kind of overall letting my body relieve from the fight itself. But it's like, I don't know what it would be like to wake up, at least yet in my career, and not want to fight. Like, I want to sign a fight this week if possible. Yeah. Like, I was already talking to Zach, who's the fierce CEO and matchmaker. I've been waiting for Steel Fist to hit me back with something. I want a new opponent. I want a better fight. If 145 is where I'm going to stay, I'm just going to focus on getting bigger, so hopefully I can do one more MMA fight this year. And then my grandfather, but my grandfather passed away without ever getting to see me fight. So I want to do my pro debut this year as well.
Oh, fun.
So that'll be something I want to do for him, because he always wanted me to box, because, Hispanics, we have a deep culture in boxing. Yeah. So I want to get the gloves on. I want to go out there and I want to do a boxing match, hopefully, before I go to Thailand. Because I want to go to Thailand next July when my lease is up in my apartment. I want to go stay for like 3 months, go train, hopefully get some fights out there. But I want to make my boxing debut before I leave.
You'll love Thailand. I got to train out in Thailand. It was awesome, and you'll love it. And you'll do really good out there.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool. The idea that you're living your art.
Exactly.
Most of the time, people don't get that luxury, or they don't have the luxury to be able to get to do that. And you made a conscious decision that you're like, you know what, I'm going to live the art for as long as it is. And it was pretty much the same with me. And we have a podcast studio in a martial arts school, and we do martial arts for a living now. You can do it. Yeah. Everybody can do it. It's just the capacity that you want to do it. And everybody watching out there, you don't have to go insane in the way that someone like Vince does now, or someone like me did, but you can still live your art in the same way if you want to. You just have to make that time for it, just like anything else, right?
Yeah.
What martial artists do you like look up to? Like, I guess I could say, which fighter would you say that you unconsciously sort of emulate? What can the people out there, when they watch Vince the King Wright fight, whose spirit is within you? What fighter do you think that you most resemble?
Just because I always try to stay composed, I was lean towards George St. Pierre. Mm-hmm. I remember DVDs of UFC used to come out back in the day because I never got to see it on TV. I know it was on Spike later on, but the first UFC event I ever watched was George St. Pierre, and I can't remember the guy's full name, but he trains out of American Top Team, I believe. I think his fight name was the Pitbull.
Okay.
So that was the first time I ever seen a UFC fight, and it was just okay, who's this GSP dude? And I remember he was in some low budget movie, and I watched that too. It was when Redbox was a thing, and I was bro, they don't have zero acting skills, but he could fight his ass off. So I was bro, I started getting more and more inept, and this was again before social media, so we didn't really, at least I didn't at the time, have an Instagram or know how to follow these guys. So I would just watch his fights when I could on Spike after that, and I was just bro, the way he goes into your backyard, Josh Koscheck was a wrestler. Mm-hmm. He went into wrestling and was you're not going to wrestle me, but I'm going to jab the hell out of you. So I just like to be if something doesn't work, like I said, his leg was a lot longer, his arm was longer. So when I kicked, he would jab me. I went into that thinking, okay, what would GSP do here? Find a better game plan, stay calm, don't get crazy and do something that's going to get you knocked out. Be calm, find a way to do it, and I found a way to do it. So I always just try to think of it as bro, just be calm. There's no point fighting angry, fighting all hyped up. That's why I just try to say be present. It's I don't want an adrenaline dump. If my adrenaline never kicks in during a fight, I'm happy. If it kicks in and I have to escape something, cool. That's my body instincts kicking in, doing what it has to save me. But I always want to be calm, so that way at least I'm not really thinking what I'm doing next. I just know what's coming at me. Right. My body's well-trained enough. I've been doing this long enough to where I stepped and pivoted on that jump knee. That was my body knowing what to do. I just was conscious enough and free-willing to let my body, boom, boom, now throw. It was just a moment of being there, and that's why I always try to fight like that. Just be calm. Be in the moment. I don't need to be a tough guy. GSP was bullied when he was a kid too, similar to how I grew up. I don't need to be a bully. I want to fight someone who's down to fight me. That's why I don't go out to bars and get crazy. Yep. You sign a contract when you're a pro. I know you're going to fight me. I don't need to. We're not in the UFC. I don't need to sell the fight talking crap to you. We signed a contract to fight. Let's just fight.
Yeah.
When we get paid to sell the fight, I'm going to make fun of it. I'm going to do some crazy shit. We're going to sell the fight. But until then, I don't get paid for this now. I just get paid to sign up and fight you. Let's fight. We're both men. Right. Yeah, I just agree. That's what I love about it, too, is nobody's a bully in this. It's if you sign the contract, you know from time to time when you signed it. I know I got 8 weeks. You got 8 or 9 weeks, too. Let's have fun, bro. Get good. I want an opponent.
I love it. I was my wife was at one of the advanced testings that you helped with.
Yeah.
And one of the things that she said, she's not a super huge fight fan, but she was something about Vince that is really interesting is his composure. You're obviously going loose with these 15-year-olds that are sparring you, but you get they knock or kick you in the face, and you just showed nothing on your face. It was you got hit, and it wasn't judgment for yourself. You weren't angry that you got hit or that they maybe went a little bit too hard. And that reminds me of Fedor Emelianenko in the way he has that kind of blank slate
the stone
about
face.
him. So that's what I saw a little bit backstage when you were walking out, and even when you got tossed up a little bit in the ring, it was all composed. It was all business. For lack of a better term, John Wicked it.
Yeah,
you were just
I was there for a paycheck.
Yeah, you're there, you're patient, and you're ready to go. Now we talked a little bit about you and your nickname, the King. I'm a huge fan of fight nicknames personally, to the point where if you are a fighter, I will oftentimes refer to you as what that nickname is, right?
Yeah.
My internet handle is Big Bang Mike because that was my fight name.
Okay.
So I think that there is a lot that goes behind that name, and I wondered what was your reasoning, Vince the King, or is it Vince just King? What is your nickname, and why did you choose it?
Well, it's kind of funny because I didn't choose it.
Oh,
so
okay.
if I'm being 100% honest, when I first took my fight for Steel Fist, they added me on Facebook, Kevin and Pat. And my Facebook's been the same since I was like 12 years old, bro. Like once they came out with Facebook, because I had a MySpace and MySpace went away, I've had the same Facebook. That's why I've never deleted it, because it's got photos of me as a kid.
Right.
And I don't know how to get those photos down. I'm old school. I don't know how to work the internet like that. But they saw that my Instagram or my Facebook name is Vince King Wright. And it comes from like, when I was growing up in high school, we used to, like, my 3 closest friends, we had like a playing card. We spray painted his room one day. His mom got pissed. But we spray painted the room in the house. And I was the king of spades. He was the jack of clubs. And then his younger brother was like the ace of spades, I think. Don't know why we ended up on that. But I got the king of hearts diamonds like shortly after high school. And it's just been something I kind of always ran with. Like, it's just been like a kiddie nickname. So when they first added me and I first fought for Steel Fist, they had that on their own. They're just like, oh, this is Vince the King Wright. Like, this is his stage Facebook or whatever. And it's funny because my blue belt, Gustavo, my instructor, when he gave me my blue belt on my blue belt certification, it says Vince the King Wright. So I was like, I'm just going to run with it at this point. Like, I got certified as Vince the King Wright.
I'm completely honest. Like, the first time you came down to help out with the testing, I thought, I wasn't sure what your last name was. I thought it was Vince King. I don't know if you remember that. I was like, Vince King?
Yeah,
and you're like,
that when we were on the mat. Yeah.
You're like, no.
It just stuck. So I was like, bro, I'm just going to run with it. I was like, I'll probably use it from now on. Like, I always believe that you had to get a nickname from somebody else.
Yeah.
Like, I never wanted to give myself a nickname and be like, oh, I'm the Crusher or Mr. Showtime. It's like, I don't know if that any fits to me.
Right.
But my coach calls me it. Steel Fist has always done it. So now when they ask, like, hey, do you have a nickname? I'm like, yeah, King, the King, whatever you want to put. I was like, we'll just rock with what you guys rock with. I'm cool with it.
I liked it. I mean, I think it's cool. I think that one of the things about nicknames that kind of annoys me are like how consistent they are. Like, there's so many pit bulls and cyborgs, and you know, that's why, like, I chose Big Bang because nobody had it. Like, that's literally,
and it shows your originality. It's like you're a person now. You're not just off of what is it, Fight Night. You didn't just go in there and pick through 100 names. It's like, this is who I picked.
You just like get on like a rap name generator, or whatever. But because I thought like the King is very auspicious, but I don't know that I don't know of any super popular fighters that are like.
I did it until like later in life. Like Bobby King Green is one of them.
Oh, okay.
And then I think there's a Utah guy, a Hawaiian guy that trains out of the dojo. Can't think Bobby King. So I mean, there's a couple of us,
right?
But I was like, mine was just kind of like it sat in there. I don't know if they've ever chose theirs, but I was like, mine was just something we used to do in high school.
I think that's an awesome story where you're just like, it was on my Facebook as a joke.
Yeah, and I just never changed it, so we're going to run with it. I remember people used to make fun of it, too. If you have a nickname for your middle name on Facebook, you're a dork. People used to put that when I was in like my early 20s. I'm like, bro, I'm just going to leave it. I'm not changing it.
It's what it's been forever. What do you, outside of martial arts, outside of fighting, you're a full human being. You enjoy other things. What do you enjoy outside of martial arts and fighting?
Bro, to be honest, like there's a few things I enjoy doing, but honestly just like being at home. Bills paid. I can watch whatever I want on my, I got multiple streaming services. I can chill with my dog. Like, I love my dog. He's got a half a brain cell and only part of it was working. But he's the sweetest dog in the world. He's a blue-nosed pit bull. So, like, I can spend all day with him. He's going to do something new every 5 minutes. But it's like, other than that, like, I like working out, lifting, obviously, just because it's part of my pastime. It's something I've always done. Obviously, I want to buy a house the next few years so I can have, like, my own steel shop and kind of just make my own stuff from, like, my gym. So I was like, I love welding. It's something I'll always probably do. I'm still certified. So it's like, I'll always be, like, into the arts of making something with my hands just because I have ADD. Growing up as a kid, you didn't know what it was. People still think it's a fake disease. But it's like, for me, I can't sit down and read or play video games for that long. I can do it, but I just get bored. Right. So if I'm building something with my hands, that's why I got good at fighting, and I'm good at like learning from fighting because I can watch you do it. I could practice it, and now I can do it. Same with welding and everything else I do with my hands. Like, I can watch you do it, or I can watch a YouTube video or read about it for a minute. Now I can go do it. I can build whatever I need to build. If you got blueprints, I can read metric standard. Like, I just learned growing up, especially as a young guy in the trades, like, my ADD works good for this stuff. Like, I can do a lot with my hands.
I'll tell you what. I mean, that kind of skill set works really well with the martial arts school, Yeah. If that's something that you do want to do, right? I mean, a lot of that handy stuff is going to help a lot. My wife is a brilliant like designer, so like the reason why the gym looks so good is because she designs. But being able to build your own like lifting rigs and training equipment, you're gonna save so much money versus someone like me. have to pay somebody else to do it.
Come in and do it. Well, if you need some help welding some stuff,
now I know. Yeah, perfect. I'm thinking like call up Vince, be like, you want to do a podcast and also build me a CrossFit rig?
Got you.
Gotcha.
Let's go get some
Done.
steel.
All right. So we end every conversation with one of my favorite questions because martial arts is so much more than kicking and punching. It's so much more than fighting. It's culture. It's art. It's activity. And everybody who gets into fighting, regardless as to how tough they are or how tough they pose themselves as, they're all just a bunch of freaking nerds.
Yeah, all of us are at one point or another. Like, we all either watched anime or watch anime currently, read comics. Like, I still do both of those things.
Exactly.
So it's like, bro, I grew up as a dorky kid. Like I said, I was picked on. I'm still that dork. I just got tattoos and muscles.
Okay, that's
like, nothing's really changed.
Different, right?
Yeah.
So, what's your favorite martial arts film?
Martial arts film? Like, if we're saying an actual movie, I would say any of the Jean-Claude Van Damme series. Because my dad relates to, like, my dad grew up watching those.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a big Jet Li fan, too, but I like the Jet Li movies that weren't in English.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you remember those, but it's
No,
like, I grew up watching the ones that were still, like, not even subtitled.
Yeah.
I didn't know what they were saying, but they were doing actual sword martial arts, and I remember watching that with my dad as a kid, and I'm like I said, it went full circle. I even asked my dad, did you see me being a professional fighter as a kid or as an adult? He's like, no. He's like, this is the furthest thing I expected from you. But it's cute or cool that it went full circle because I was like, bro, we grew up watching stuff like this. Me being a little kid, just watching what my dad's watching. Now I get to do that stuff. Like, I actually got to meet Jean-Claude Van Damme when he came to Uriah's in California.
Nice.
So it was just like, okay. And now I'm meeting you. You used to be in Three Ninjas.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, martial arts gave me, like, an opening to kind of meet these people that I kind of was already idolizing. That's why, like, a goal. Like, I know they're making a Street Fighter movie and stuff like that. I would love to be in a Mortal Kombat movie because I'm a real martial artist, like a Street Fighter movie. Like, just something like that, because then it's like a real life spin moment. It's like, bro, I used to play these games, watch this stuff. To me, let me be in one of them.
Yeah.
It's like, I can actually fight. Like, I might not be able to act. We'll find out. I'll wing it, but hey, somebody will train me on this. It can't be that hard.
Yeah. I mean, people do it all the time. It's not that big of a deal.
Figure it out. Give me a couple shots. Who am I? Let me lock in like I do for fighting. I'm that person. I got you.
All right. You're a gamer. You're a gamer, right? So, who's your go-to character in Mortal Kombat, and who's your go-to character in Street Fighter?
Oh, so Mortal Kombat, Liu Kang was my go-to character because that was who I grew up as. That's my, person as a kid.
Your
my
spirit
brother
animal.
was Mortal Kombat, yeah. Or Nightwolf was a big favorite too. So I don't know if they got Nightwolf in any of the movies yet, but yo, Hollywood, Nightwolf, I got you. But Nightwolf, Liu Kang, the newer Mortal Kombat's got I can't remember his name, but it's Scorpion's son.
Yeah.
So or Kenji's son actually. So Kenji's son's in the newer ones. So those guys are my favorite just because of the abilities they have. But Street Fighter, I always go Ryu.
Yeah, Ryu's
Goated.
a good one.
Yeah, can't pick anyone else. Tekken's a good one too, though.
Yeah.
All those fighting games, like granted, they're almost damn near all the same, but that was like my childhood.
Oh, dude, I want to get a Tekken gaming council for the martial arts school because I have Mortal Kombat, I have Street Fighter 2, but I don't think they make a Tekken one.
No, I mean, there's a company on Instagram that I follow. I'll send to you. They build custom setups like the ones you have.
Yeah.
To match the retro, but they're kind of current games. So they'll put like a Nintendo 64 in there with Tekken on it or a PlayStation with Tekken on it, but the controls and everything look like they look out there.
Oh,
so they're going to have that old school retro build, just a newer game.
Nice. Yeah, you definitely got to send me
I'll send that to you.
All right,
I want a couple.
With that being said, it was a pleasure to have you at my martial arts school in my podcast studio. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Vince the King Wright here for the post-fight Clink. Make sure that you follow him on social media. Make sure you follow us on social media. Maybe you subscribe. I don't know. Whatever it is that you guys want to do. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.